What's up, Sheeples?
Hello, Sheeples.
What's up?
And this is you didn't say this is
Oh my
Z.
god, dude, it's been so long.
You missed us.
Shit,
This
am I
is
forgetting
Z.
how to podcast? Okay,
I know,
Sheeples,
right?
this is Z. And then,
And this is 1000-7. Well, not this episode. What can I call
whoa,
myself?
dude, you have so many
What should I call
options,
myself?
so many freaking options, dude. Like, it'd be
I
so
know,
hard to
right?
like,
I know, right?
it'd be so hard to like just pick one.
um,
Last video you were Jarvis, right?
you know what?
Or you were
Yeah, I was
Jarvis.
Jarvis last time. So let's do Wanda
Oh
this time because
man,
Jarvis became Vision and Vision's significant other
mm,
Wanda. So why not? Let's do Wanda.
cute, very cute. What's up, my friend
Very cute.
Wanda?
Um,
Do you ever wonder about the
all good,
possibilities
all
of
good.
life?
Z. Pardon?
Do you
Can you repeat
ever
that?
wonder about the possibilities of life? Yeah,
Oh
I
my
have to tell a
god.
bad one.
I do wonder about the possibilities of life, and they truly make me
Yeah,
depressed,
and that's
man.
why we don't wonder.
Yeah. Oh my. But honestly, I think it's been a few. I mean, it's been a week at least. I guess a break for a week before since we posted, and that's mainly due to me not being in town. I'm sorry, sheepers. I was away. I think we'll speak a little
Yeah,
more about like what we've been up to in the next
right.
episode. But let's just say I had an amazing time in Agra and Delhi, and I think there are a lot of stories to be told there. I shall I shall
Yup.
tell you
On
all
the
about
next
it
part.
soon. Yeah, but that's a teaser for the next one. For this one, we are going to talk again about Marvel because this is part 2 of our Marvel series. And last time, as we stopped on Avengers discussing about like what our favorite parts about the movie were and what did we not like about it. Like I think we want to do this for all the movies and just like have a whole conversation about like what what did we gain from the MCU, and why did we like the whole series and the universe so much, and what do you think like we this will lead towards, or where do we think this is going towards? And that's, I think, what we want to do today. So if any of y'all are really really into the whole Marvel scene, join us till the end because it's gonna be an amazing time, I'm quite sure. And we really want to hear about your thoughts about like the MCU in general,
Yes.
because this whole series has truly, I think, spoken to so many people over the like globe in general, and I think everybody has their own opinion about this whole series. So I wonder like what do you sheeples have to say about
Can't
it.
even wait to
But
hear from
yeah,
you.
but Z, what about you?
What's up?
Like, let's just say we,
Dude,
we we were speaking about Avengers
I
last
am so
time,
excited to
and
move on to Iron Man 3. Like literally the first
right,
movie.
your favorite
Yeah, my
like
favorite
character,
character.
right?
Iron
If
Man
I'm
is
not
the
wrong.
best. And
Huh.
like just you know, like when I think Iron Man 3, like the only thing that comes to my mind is like, Tony Stark and his blackouts. And like because the entire Avengers battle has obviously taken like a huge toll on him. And he's somebody who's gone through like a
Uh-huh.
bunch of incidents where he's obviously repressed a whole lot of that. And going into the wormhole
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like subverting a nuke can obviously get that back. Panic attacks. I don't know if this was Marvel's way of like acknowledging that mental health is real, guys. It's not just a Amir Ali privilege.
Right.
It's yeah.
And I totally agree with you, Z, because this is, I think, they did this
Anna?
so well, the whole PTSD aspect and the whole mental health aspect of this, because it's such an interesting way to show it, especially in a movie that speaks to so many people and so many people are going to
True.
watch, right? And they had the idea to actually showcase this, and they do this later on as well, which I think we can speak about
Right.
later. But this whole idea of like Iron Man being, and RDJ, sorry, I'm saying RDJ, Tony
Right.
Stark, the guy who shouldn't like, didn't give a crap about
Right.
anything,
Just
becoming someone who gave
so
so
much.
much of like his person into this cause, into being Iron Man into being that protector of the earth, into like, be caring about his comrades, and that he couldn't sleep. He couldn't sleep properly because he was worried about another threat coming. He was worried about something like this happening again and
Right.
again. And it's such a good way to show character development as well over the series, because it's like over movies you see this guy growing and becoming something that is someone that really is different from his original character, is has grown, has become someone bigger than he originally was. And I think that was truly amazing. That was such a
I
good
feel
way
you,
of
man. I
showing
mean,
it.
and it just sort of began a post Avengers world, a world in which there
Yeah,
was so much going on because, like, okay, this battle has been subverted, like, it's been avoided, but it
yeah,
doesn't mean
yeah.
that shit has ended. Like, of course, this series also segues into the Spider-Man movie, but that's, I guess, much, much later.
Yeah,
Like,
that's a bit later,
but
but
yeah.
that's still technically, like,
Hana,
timeline
because
wise, I
like
guess
that's how they build it,
it
right?
does
Like that
work
guy
out.
is scavenging through. Like, but okay,
Yeah.
I guess logically, after the amazing third Iron Man movie, though of course I still miss his best friend
Also,
Rhodey. Rhodey is
also,
of course not
yeah,
back. Like somehow I
yeah,
was like, oh
Rudy.
my god, can Rhodey be back already? But then I don't know if it's just me, but like it seemed like a very big change. Like a character that should like is very hard to replace.
I mean, it was still Rhodey. It's just that they got a different actor
Right,
to play him.
right,
Is the only
fair.
difference, right? But that's a whole controversy that had happened in between. That was a whole thing. I don't know. I guess there were some demand issues. There were some actor issues that happened behind the scenes. That I guess it is what it is. Things change.
True,
Contracts get breached. I
true,
don't know.
true. But okay, on
So,
to happier
but
things. We got
that aside, I do have one thing to mention before we move on
right,
to the next
right,
movie, is that the Mandarin Twist, like the Mandarin is like a big villain in one big villain for Iron Man, at least in the comics.
right.
And the way they twisted it into like this guy being an actor, they're trying to like imitate the Mandarin, and then them later on finding out like this was a separate like small video that came out
Okay,
later on. They found out like there's a real Mandarin as well, and there's a whole thing that happens. It was quite a fun twist to the movie in between.
that's
And the
insane.
acting, as always, it was so good throughout. So that's
Great.
that's
I mean,
that
like,
is. But
great,
from
great
moving
job.
moving on from a very fun and
Let's
great
go on to
movie, which I
Malekith.
really appreciate now, that's I did not like
है
Thor
ना
the Dark
थोड़ा
World,
like
dude. I
it was
did
more like a
not like
Loki
Thor the
movie. I
Dark
would say
World.
that like थोड़ा rebrand करके let's just call it Loki the Dark World. I would have
Loki
I
the
would have
Dark World,
accepted that
yeah.
more because his
And
acting
it,
just
it
took
was
away the entire thing.
also, this movie was very low key.
Oh
I did
yeah,
not like
fair, fair. I
it.
mean, I'm so
Yeah,
glad they had a
see,
Thor 3 to top it all.
I like Loki, but I like Loki as a character, and oh god, but my god, this movie, like, the storyline did not make sense
It
as
was a
much.
pretty
Or
tough
like, it did
one.
make sense, but
Like I like that scene
yeah,
where like they figure out that there's a portal here and they throw the can and all the kids are playing in
yeah.
that, and then like the water disappears and they're
Yeah,
like, were those my car keys? And like
it was this movie, honestly.
what was it?
I don't know,
The ether,
the ether,
ether
the
Rama,
ether,
bro.
yeah, the
Like
ether, they called it a
ether.
ether, yeah. But it's been a while, and I saw this movie just once, and then I did not touch it again because I was like, nah, no, I'd rather not. Maybe if I ever do like a rewatch of the whole Marvel series, I'll have to kind of sit through it again. But goddamn, dude, like, it just felt very stale. Like, I don't know, it felt like very generic as a superhero movie. I feel
Right.
the first Thor did a good job introducing Thor.
Yeah.
This one
Oh,
this
dude, the
one
first
kind
Thor
of
was
tried.
brilliant.
Yeah, this one kind of tried to like have a bit of a, I guess, that feel of like the whole old a Shakespearean kind of feel of Thor, but it did not work out for him. Though one thing is sad, like his mom dying in this movie
Ooh.
was not. I felt for the
Yeah,
guy. I
that
really
was
did.
very very heartbreaking. I mean that
Yeah,
scene, man. He just like he knows he's just a second too late, and the whole bow and arrow and lighting up the coffin is
yeah.
just so Norse. Because I was like let
But
me just be very honest.
yeah.
Like everybody was sad in the theater when they were watching this, and I am
Hmm.
probably the only weirdest person who's like, dude, what if the bow and arrow man misses his target? उसका तो जॉब जाने वाला है.
वो
And
तो
I'm like,
क्या
okay, not a thought the
I
director wanted you to do.
imagine like he just like knocks back the arrow and
हाँ,
the fire, like he just
सीधा
it misses and it causes a fire in the castle rather than
like
anybody
अभी आपको
like
लाइटर
rather than on the grave.
से नहीं हो रहा है.
That would be
Dude, like,
so
can you
funny.
imagine the kind of
But
insane marksmanship? But like, yeah, they did it. So
I swear, I know, right?
great job.
I mean, they are gods
They are
technically, so
gods.
you know.
Fuck, seriously. The end.
Well,
No, wait.
the
Is like
Aesir.
okay. So help me understand this. But like, is the entire kingdom of Asgard like holy and legendary, or is it just the kings?
Not particularly. So it's, I guess, if you have to go according to Norse mythology, they are the Aesirs in general.
Okay.
So the gods, I guess, would more so be considered Thor and Odin and all these guys, because they are the. I mean, there's no Balder in this, but Loki is the god of mischief according to Norse mythology. There's Odin, the king, I think, in that
Right.
sense, and then there's Thor, the god of like thunder and all that
Right.
stuff. So they are in their own right, like because of their power and the achievements and all that, they have their space. But like the people of Asgard, the Asgardians in general, if you have
Okay.
to go according to
Wait. I
Norse
just
mythology, they
realized
would be
there's a
the
pun there.
Aesirs.
Say
And
it
I
again.
think,
Say
I
it
don't know,
again.
Asgardians.
What?
I'm
Okay.
I'm I'm
My
quite sure
bad.
you
Sorry.
mean the
I just went all
Asgardians.
12-year-old. And I'm like, I just covered a pun. No, no. Okay. I
Yeah,
think everyone gets
the
that.
Asgardians is a thing, man.
Hmm.
We all know.
Hmm. Okay. I'll just leave it at that.
But this was truly a Loki movie. I
Yeah, no?
enjoyed that part. Like I think they did really well with that part. But other than that, the villain was very forgettable. So Malekith's, the Dark
Yeah.
Elves were
Yeah.
not
I mean, like,
amazing.
they had a badass spaceship. I would
Yeah.
give them that. Like, it just.
Lol. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
मतलब
True.
गाड़ी
True.
अच्छी चलाता था बंटा है बट डरावना काफी नहीं था. Like,
But I guess this this bad movie, they kind of fully redeemed themselves in Captain America: The Winter
oh,
Soldier, which
dude,
is the
dude,
next
dude,
one.
dude, dude.
Because
Like,
if I have to
one
say,
of the
like,
top five in the
if
series.
it's not my favorite, it's definitely
Top
top
five.
5. Yeah, top 3. If I have to be honest, like
Nice.
for me, it would be top
Nice.
3. I loved this movie.
Nice.
Like it was so good.
Dude,
Especially with
especially
like
the
the
ongoing
spy
joke, right? Like,
stuff,
on
the
your
agent
left.
stuff.
Just like.
Yeah, on your left is so
Yeah.
good, dude. Like each and every moment in this movie was so well planned, well done. Like Captain America, who I did not enjoy as much in the first
Right.
movie, suddenly grew to become like one of my, if not my favorite heroes. And he is, I guess, Spider-Man is always going to be my
Yeah, for
favorite
sure.
hero. But Iron Man and Captain America, like they were so well written, and Captain America, because of this movie, shot up in the ranks for me, because it
Anna?
was like, dude, he's such a good, like he's such a good character. His thought process, him having to question himself, question the government, question his own ideologies, loyalties, everything in this movie was
100%. I agree with
so
you.
well done.
I agree with you, man. The character is just so brilliant. Like,
um
and in my head, when I think Captain America, Winter Soldier, the only thing pops out is the
mhm.
elevator scene. Like, he just knocks out an entire
Dude,
freaking elevator full of agents. That
I
scene,
know, right?
and like the SUV scene, where he's just what do you say?
Pardon?
This
Can you
guy.
repeat
How can
that?
I forget his name? Okay, I just did. I just did. Yeah, I forgot. I forgot the name of the director.
Oh, the
Yeah,
Russo
when
brothers.
they try to like kill him, and then the entire Yes, the entire
Huh.
SUV scene. But you know what? The elevator takes
Dude,
the
the
cake. I
elevator
mean,
scene
like
is so
insane.
like I mean honestly that it they did such a good job. Even like the set pieces, right? Like the action set pieces are so good because that's what I mean. This movie has such a good like I don't know everything in general, pacing, action, story, emotion, everything, dude. Like it was so well
Damn
done.
good.
And Bucky coming back, the knife fighting, dude. Like that was so cool. I can still see that knife flipping when Bucky is
Oh, right.
fighting
It's like
Captain
the
America,
equivalent of like a
and
drummer
like,
flipping out his sticks.
dude, they actually did it. Like they actually
Really?
did
That's
that
not
fight scene
VFX?
for real. Like,
Insane.
dude, yeah, that's not VFX. That knife flip and all that is
Wow.
actually being done
That's
while I do
It just makes it
acting.
all the
So
more
that was
impressive.
so. Dude, yeah, it was so good. It was so. I can gush over this movie
I
for an
know,
hour,
right?
for
I know.
more
I
than an
wish you could
hour,
just
if
do a
I if
pod
I'm honest.
on that. But if
Dude, we have to.
Captain America,
We'll
the
dissect
Captain
it. We'll
America pod,
dissect
bro.
this
But you know
movie.
what? I think the entire
Yeah,
tone of the uh,
yeah,
Avengers movies, is completely different. Like it's very
yeah,
serious.
yeah.
Of course, you have Iron Man with the funny, but like it just picks up a beat and becomes so much more happier with Guardians of the Galaxy. I think
Dude,
Guardians
for
of the
sure.
Galaxy, if not like my favorite, is in the top two out there of series. It's
Uh huh.
just so
Uh huh.
likable.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, Star Lord, like his character, just like his backstory, just listening to those songs, just
Yeah, dude.
70s
I
songs.
think these characters are so wacky but so much
Right,
fun. And I think the if I have to rate it, like the soundtrack of this movie is top tier. I think
right.
it's the
Dude,
best
so
in
upbeat. I
throughout
don't dance,
this
but I feel like dancing. So like
movie. Like,
insane.
dude, like, bro, he dance battles at the end,
Right,
man.
right. Like, can you imagine? Dude, and Yondu, man. Like,
Star Lord
Yondu.
dance battling to save the universe.
Insane.
Oh my
Insane, dude.
god, it's so fucking funny. I loved it. It was this movie was really fun. I think the only place if this movie kind of falls apart a little bit is the villain,
Mm-hmm.
because he was good. I'm forgetting the name of the guy. What was the name of the guy? But he was good, but like he kind of
No, the
wasn't as
second
memorable
one
as
is
maybe
the
maybe
god, right?
the
Is this one is this dude with a
is the
hammer,
planet Ego, the living planet is the
some
second one. Yeah, this
accuser,
guy's the
Ronan the
yeah.
accuser, Ronan the
Yeah,
accuser,
Ronan the
Ronan the
Accuser.
accuser.
Yeah,
Dude, he's damn impressive.
Ronan
He's
the
like
Accuser. Yeah,
in
yeah,
levels of strength, he's like as big, like as incredible as this one. Apna. Wow, now I'm forgetting the name of the main villain in Avengers.
yeah.
Thanos. Like
Thanos.
this dude is like, is this the
Thanos.
closest badass villain that comes to Thanos in terms of like swag and
Ronan the
yeah, dude.
Accuser.
I
Nah,
like him.
dude.
Like I like him.
Ronan
I
the
think he
Accuser.
also has
Really?
one of the Infinity
Really?
Stones, if I'm remembering it wrong.
Are you are you talking? Ronan did was trying
Okay,
to get one. He was
probably.
trying to get the Infinity Stone. I mean, Ego would I would
Oh fuck.
say
Okay,
be
yeah.
stronger
Then
than
that's
Ronan,
on
bro.
me.
Ronan
Yeah,
wasn't
fair.
strong. Ego, the living
Fair.
planet,
Okay, I
was
guess I'm
strong.
confusing the villain
That
with the.
guy,
Oh
the
yeah.
father
Okay.
of
Yeah.
Peter
Yeah.
Quill,
Yeah.
was
This
strong.
one's
Yeah.
father is the one with the brain-shaped planet, right? Yeah. Yeah. My
Yeah, yeah,
bad.
yeah. He's
He's
literally a
literally a
planet.
planet.
Like,
Dude, that guy would have given a tough fight,
yeah,
huh,
yeah, yeah.
to anybody on the entire MCU. Because he was legit. I
That
think
guy
he
was
was.
strong. Ronan the
Yeah.
Accuser lost because of a fucking dance battle. Like, let's be
Let's be
honest
honest.
here.
He didn't practice his
Ronan
DDR
was
very
not
well.
as strong. I swear, bro, he needed to practice DDR. But if I have to choose a favorite character in those
Hmm.
five, right, I would have to choose
Oh
Baby
my
Groot, dude.
god.
Groot and Baby Groot. Oh my
Dude.
god, it is so
Like, I
cute.
can't even believe Groot has no dialogues throughout the film.
Also, uh, I mean, all five of them are
Right.
amazing, though. If I'm
Gamora.
honest, like all
And
all
Apna
five of
Boxer,
them are
bro,
amazing.
Batista is in there. Like, what even?
Batista था ना
When I
रे
saw him, I
उसमें.
was like, तू क्या कर रहा है बे? तू गलत चैनल पे आ गया. ये
Bro,
scam है.
I loved his character so much. I loved his character so
Right, dude.
much in the
Yeah.
movie. Like it was so much fun to watch him be Drax and be that
Hmm.
like really serious guy who doesn't get jokes, but then like is so funny in that in his own way. It's oh my god, so great.
Dude.
So even I mean, for that matter, like was so good. Rocket Raccoon was so
Oh yeah.
amazing
Oh
in
yeah.
the movie.
His this
That he's or this movie is a
yeah.
ball.
It
Let's
is
just say
just
that. Like it's amazing.
it takes the entire tone
Uh,
of the MCU, makes it
yeah,
very upbeat. But then of course we have
yeah.
Ultron that's just
Age
coming
of
in and
Ultron coming
introducing
next,
Wanda and her brother,
and
the
her
really
brother
fast
Pietro.
Adidas originals guys. That he's just
Seriously.
like he was just put in there for Adidas ka branding. Matlab, मैं तो like all the time I just see him. I think he's either got a Adidas hoodie on or some shoes on, but like he's also
Bro, the
damn funny.
brand placement was strong. The
Sana
brand
and
placement
his
was
whole
strong.
thing,
That and Audi.
oh fuck, dude,
Audi in these movies is everywhere.
incredible. I don't know how they get away with it. As Bollywood, we
It's
have
too
a whole
fun.
lot to learn. We have a lot of hope with OTT placing in brands very well, but
I mean, bro, I haven't if you haven't seen in Bollywood movies, I think it's very strong as well. These brand placement. It's just that
नहीं मतलब वो obvious हो जाता है, like
it's very over the
yeah,
top as
they
well
did
to
they
that
get.
extent. I mean, it's maybe tha, bro. What, you don't
I
think
don't
this
know,
was
but
not
I think
you
Audi
don't
is
think
cool,
Audi was
man. I
obvious?
don't know, like it's just
Please,
maybe some
please,
inherent
let
bias.
it be. You're just sucking off
Maybe
now.
it's some inherent
You're just
bias,
sucking them
but
off.
like
या तेरा अंदर
ऐसा
का
है,
बायस
white
दिख रहा है
supremacy
मेरे
मांगता है
को.
मेरे को.
such
Dude, but let's not even forget the
wow,
scene when.
you're gonna get cancelled today.
Dude,
Like
there's some
right
trend right
now,
now where
Twitter is
Jeremy
hearing
Renner
you.
is getting cancelled. Like his wife
Are you
is like put
kidding?
up
Really?
accusations that he's yeah. Let's just whoever's interested can go read
Oh
it. And
my.
there's already a hashtag called RIP
Let's draw.
Jeremy Renner trending because people are canceling him. So
That's bullshit. I think no.
yeah,
Let it be, dude. Twitter पे every
हाँ
day
ट्विटर
somebody
इज
gets
जस्ट लाइक
cancelled. Let's just say
ट्रिगर
that.
प्लेटफॉर्म मतलब बस ट्रिगर होने का है
Oh,
हमको
dude,
हम
it's
लोग बैठे हैं
amazing.
खाना वाना खा के
No, so I get like there are people who do deserve to be cancelled for like really hella bad things, but then there's like every day they find something or the other, even for
हाँ
the
ना
smallest mistake. So it's like, all
yeah
right,
yeah
let's just
so
chill.
basically dude this the like
Yeah.
seriously the scene where apna what do you say then the lifting try to lift the hammer and Captain America almost lifts it and it's connected with right
Oh,
with
dude, yeah.
Endgame when Thor goes like I knew it because he actually lifts it. And man, that is such a because you can see
Yeah, like
Thor ki fat rahi hai thodi thodi. He's like,
yeah, it's such a good payoff in the sense like they've been setting this up for a while, and according to like some sources, right, I think even the Russo brothers
right,
said this, like Captain America in that movie could have picked it up, but he saw Thor getting worried that he can pick it up or he might be worthy, so he was like, no, I can't. Like he
क्या
acted as
बात
if
है
he
ये
couldn't
शरीफ है
until
भाई
he
साहब.
needed to. मतलब ये सीन था. So this was like apparently the thing, but like Age of Ultron, I would say it wasn't as good as the first
Yeah,
Avengers movie. I enjoyed the first one more because I guess it was like the first time seeing everybody together. Age of Ultron was a bit more. I guess it felt like a good stopgap in between, but it wasn't the
right.
best.
I
I
mean,
guess as an
like
Avengers
yeah,
movie, right?
like it didn't stand up in light to the first one for sure. But
Yeah.
it had like a lot of likable parts, I would say, and it wasn't dislikable in any ways. Is that it
Yeah, it wasn't dislikable
failed to
at all. Like
compete with the
I
first
enjoyed
Avengers.
my time.
But
Yeah,
then
for sure.
suddenly
For sure.
this series has a curveball with Ant-Man. And you know what? I could have almost sworn, what if you just take the Ant-Man movies out? Okay. And you'd like take,
Huh.
of course, they put in that thing at the end game also. If you take like the whole time
Huh.
capsule thingy out now, like you know what? Like
Huh.
I'll be a little, I'll probably trigger some people here. Okay. I feel that they could have
Okay.
ended the Avengers saga with the third movie. हो जाता.
You mean Infinity
Yes,
War?
it could have ended with Thor just going through the hammer. It could have ended, but of course they wanted to lengthen it because if it's making money, why wouldn't you?
Oh, you mean like him killing
Yeah,
Thanos right
yeah.
there and
I just
then?
feel that
But dude, that I don't think. Again, okay. Here's my take on that. I don't think the stakes would have been
hmm,
there anymore.
hmm. Because
Like, to ye soch na,
later on, he
in
just
at
dies
the
too
end of
easy. He just
Infinity
dies too
War,
easy at the end. Like
No, so okay. Here's the thing. I'll tell
Right.
you one thing. In Infinity War, if he so he just had to snap the fingers. It was because of the stones that he like had that
Right.
strength, right? He was collecting the stones. He had a full army. That's why he was where
Right.
he was. Um, the whole point of it was like those stones gave him that much
Right.
power on his
Yeah.
own against five different like hella strong
Yeah.
people.
वो भी है.
And at the time he was weakened. Endgame mein in the beginning he was weakened when he
Right.
got
He
killed.
was weakened
Like
because his
his
entire hand,
spoilers,
his
sorry,
entire
I
hand
feel like
had like just
yeah, his he destroyed the stones using those stones, and his whole body went. So you saw how these stones can affect someone when they use
true.
it, like all five together. When they make such a big like change, their whole body gets affected, their whole system, they almost die, right? Like that's why the in Endgame the Hulk had to do the snap
Right.
in the
Because he was
beginning,
made for it.
because there was nobody else who could have done it. And that's the reason why like he was also weakened out, right? Like that's why he was. And if he would have died in Infinity War at the end, that movie wouldn't have been as good as it was. Like the
Yeah.
ending is what causes people to remember Infinity War. Like that's why like people are like, holy shit, everybody got pooped on, got fucked
Full
fully,
on.
because they couldn't do shit against this guy,
Right. Right.
right? And but then again, that since we were on Ant-Man,
Right.
we
Yeah.
got quite
Ant-Man was
ahead
just
of
like
ourselves.
a very different.
And Ant-Man was a very different like
Well,
scene. It
I
was a
didn't like. I
very
knew all the other
different
characters,
palette.
even though I don't read the comics, like heard them
Yeah.
somewhere here and there. But Ant-Man was like a completely new thing that just got introduced.
Yeah, I mean it's a fun power,
Right.
right? Like it's an interesting one to have, him become like shrinking himself down, and later on like him able to become Giant Man, which is
Oh,
very
dude, that was.
well,
And
the
then of
exact
course
opposite. That
he's
was so.
turnkey because he sort of.
And that does happen in Civil War itself, right? Like
Oh yeah,
that's
when
literally the next
when they're
movie after
fighting out.
Ant-Man, which is yeah. And Civil War was such a and again Ant-Man was a fun movie, but like kind of forgettable to an extent. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I think I like the character, but as a movie itself, it was fine.
Hmm.
It wasn't like the best. But then again, it was like a midway movie, right? Then you suddenly come back to Civil War, and then it's like, holy
Oh,
shit, Civil War is
dude,
such
each
an
of the
amazing
Captain
movie.
America movies have so much strength in them. Huh? Like there's just like the sense of justice is high. Like it's just and like
For
the
sure,
entire
man.
you have two different groups that sort of separate out, and that's like unforeseen. Like you don't think that heroes could
Yeah,
separate. They usually stick together, but
yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
happens, man.
I mean that I think that's such a, and I think it goes to the writing as well, right? In this, like the fact that that the conflict kind of built up even in Iron Man 3. You could see that it was affecting Tony so
Yeah,
much. It built up to Ultron, where he realized his own like PTSD caused them to make Jarvis and then Vision and Ultron coming out of that, and like that system like going wrong. And then later on, like that same PTSD to an extent, because he's getting affected so much,
right.
causing them to kind of have this dispute over these accords, where like maybe they should be under a government program, maybe they shouldn't. And again, this comes back to Captain America Winter Soldier, where we see like you can't trust a governing authority completely, because we know it can be corrupt, it can have problems. And that's what Steve Rogers or Captain America learned over his journey. And it kind of works well into this movie, right? Like it builds up to like two different ideologies kind of coming head to head from their own personal
Right.
experiences, which was done really well. What did you think? Like, what was your take on this
Dude,
movie?
like I said, like for me the fact that superheroes could separate is like it was very
Uh-huh.
unfathomable. Like I always thought that they would sort of always stick together, but like secretly I was obviously
Uh-huh.
rooting for the Captain America, Wanda, Hawkeye, Ant-Man team.
I was more on
Iron
Iron
Man.
Man side, just because I like Iron Man a
Yeah.
lot, and Spidey
Oh
was with
yeah,
him
of
and all
course,
that
dude.
stuff.
Like
So
just
yeah,
imagine that's Spider-Man's first battle, right? And he does so well,
dude. Yeah, my boy Peter Parker
bro.
comes in this. I'm
क्या
so
मचाता
happy.
है bro, मतलब क्या मचाता है. He's responsible for
I love
taking
the
down
guy.
the
Yeah,
big
yeah, yeah.
Ant-Man. Yeah, like he just like and like the
Yeah.
entire scene. And I love
Dude,
the fact that
it's so
I
good.
think it's a very small thing, but I love the fact how they did that entire scene on an airfield where you can really
Uh-huh.
get perspective on how big Ant-Man is, because they have like those tiny planes next to him, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah, the sense of
Hanna?
scale was
So
really
I
well done
really
in
like
this,
that. I
for
really
sure.
like that.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, this Captain America really built up. I mean, this was like I like the
Mm-hmm.
first Captain America the best, for like completely different reasons, because like my sense of this fantasy world is like great with very Hellboy kind of themes, so where you have like
Mm-hmm.
paranormal
Yeah.
experiments happening and like weird people being created and a portal opens up and someone comes from hell and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But this Captain America didn't cease to amaze for sure. Dude, बाद में पर अपना मामू आ रहा है bro.
Yeah.
Door मामू is on the way.
Arey, but but before, like, honestly, before we get to the
Yeah.
Mamu, I have to say about one thing, like the whole reveal about Bucky being
Oh,
the reason
dude.
Tony Stark lost his
Dude,
parents,
that end
and
scene is just
the whole
heartbreaking.
fight is so heart-wrenching. Yeah, exactly, right? Like, it hurts, man, because I that is such a big reveal, and it hurts to see these guys have to, fight each other because of that. And
It is. It
that
is
was such a
heartbreaking.
such
I
an
won't
end,
deny
man.
that at all.
Yeah.
Very heartbreaking.
And Zemo in this case, the guy who caused the
Right.
rift
वो
a lot
छोटा
to
वाला
an
scientist
extent,
था.
did such a, yeah, like he didn't need any powers, he didn't
He
need
just
anything,
had
he just needed to know where he needed to hit, like that point where he need, and he came because he was the guy who became that way because of the whole events in
right.
Ultron, right? Like he was affected by the whole town's destruction, and his family got affected there, and that the whole Sokovia
Right.
thing that
Right. That
happened
angle is just
was
incredible.
yeah, yeah. So I really loved the way that was done. But that from there, जो जैसे जी ने बोला, we come to our Mamu,
Dude, Dormammu in the
Mister
house, bro.
Dormammu, Doctor
What a
Strange. Oh,
character,
is this
bro.
the
He was
man, the myth? Oh,
like snark,
this movie is a trip, man. This movie
like
is a
full on,
trip.
ego में और
It's a trip
snarkiness
to
में
watch.
full on. Egoness and snarkiness में like finally we have a competitor with Tony Stark. Like
Oh yeah,
someone who
dude,
can
yeah.
like just give back smart responses. Just incredible.
Dormammu, I've come to make a bargain is like
Let's make it
iconic, dude.
stop.
I, that's such an iconic
Anna,
line, dude. I can't.
Dormammu, I've come
I
to
think if you
bargain.
think of Doctor Strange, you quote that
I
line at this
agree,
point.
dude.
So
I
it's like
agree. Just incredible.
so
To that
well
movie,
done,
man. Like,
so
love
well
the
done.
whole journey of a character being
Yeah,
humbled in his life and then sort of, coming back to
for sure.
power. And like, dude, that
Yeah,
the actress, who plays his mentor, who's also the one who's the Ice Queen in Narnia, in Chronicles of Narnia. She
yeah.
does
She's called the
the
ancient one
ancient
in
one.
this
My
though.
God,
So
like she
yeah,
does she
yeah.
does such a good job. Like
Such a good
she's
job. Yeah.
incredible.
So when she like takes him into his
Oh, dude,
spectral form the
dude,
first
dude,
time,
that is
that
downright
that whole
favorite
sequence is
scene.
so amazing.
Favorite scene.
It's
Dude, उसको
so
research
good,
करने के लिए जो
so good.
trip पे गए
I
रहेंगे ना creators,
dude,
like just incredible, incredible.
for sure, man. I
Hmm.
mean, मतलब कितना उन लोगों ने, how many mushrooms they must have eaten,
Dude,
how much
सीधा
weed they must have
mushroom टीका
smoked,
हो रहा है bro. Mushroom
just
टीका scenes.
अरे full bro, full. Amazing
Crazy,
scene,
bro. Crazy,
amazing
bro.
scene.
That was. I
But
mean, yeah.
and the best part is, like, from one very colorful movie, we move on to the next very colorful movie, which was like
Did this
Guardians of the
baby
Galaxy
Groot
1 and 2.
dancing and like, like
Yeah.
suddenly, like सब लोग फटके खा रहे हैं and baby Groot is just like dancing like la la.
Dude, I love Baby Groot. He's
Way
such a
better than
cute
puberty
little
Groot, but
character,
then he gives Thor his hammer. So,
but he's also a character they kind of made because of, well, selling toys and
Hana,
merchandise, because everybody wanted
dude,
Baby
I
Groot.
like
So it's a smart move from Disney, if you really
killed
think
the
about
merch
it.
game, na?
But you know what? Who cares? Who cares? I love Baby Groot.
Baby Groot in the house, dude. Like, dude,
uh,
this finally being reunited with his father, but then finding out the reveal is
yeah.
just dude, father का spaceship जब ही आता है और
it's
वो
crazy.
सब enemy spaceships को जो उड़ा देता है ऐसे in one click of a button. I think that scene shows the kind of power he has.
But you know what? He might be his father, but he
It
wasn't
wasn't
his
daddy.
daddy.
Oh my god, Yondu, bro. Dude, Yondu
Because
and the whistle and his
Yondu,
that thingy, उसका जो
yeah,
सांप जो
yeah.
आगे डसता है सबको like, dude, Yondu is crazy. I mean, of course,
his weapon is amazing, and Ego as a character is so interesting to
dude, so much
watch
potential. I
because
was like, fuck, finally they have somebody
yeah,
to help them in the battle. And then Ego dies, no?
yeah,
Like, that's his death,
and
no?
then
Like, what they show.
yeah, Ego dies. I think Ego was killed in that for sure. So it was like. But in that sense, Peter also loses his
Right.
powers. Star-Lord doesn't have like those powers
Anymore.
anymore, so that was one other thing. But like at least like I think the fact that he could kind of get closure for himself and
That's
learn more
big, no?
about himself over time, and like yeah, that was such a big thing. And I think this movie also does such a good job, like in that sense, mentally, for to show like a child reuniting with a long lost father, and then having to learn about like what the reality of it all is from behind, like the truth of it all, and how the father actually used the people he like his own children and killed them and all
Dude,
those it's like such a
it
horrifying
is
thought,
horrible. Like, incredibly.
but
But then they,
yeah.
in the end, they leave with that, with the new character, big eyes, bug eyes, and pointy antlers. Wow.
Ha
Yeah,
Mantis, right? Like
she's
she
that's
joins.
just
Yeah.
incredible because she's such a antithesis to the whole group. Yeah? She's all like, "Come and I'll put you to sleep. Come, let me stroke your head."
I really like her character. It's like it's so much fun to watch her in general. In the sense like she good brings a good dynamic to that group as well because it's already wacky enough as it
Right.
is. I think it just like making it it kind of fits perfectly, right? Like it fits in a group of misfits,
Yeah.
if I had to put
Completely
it in one
agree.
way,
That's a great analogy.
right? So it was such a fun way to end that movie and get to know a new character who who's like so empathetic but also like really dumb in those same emotions is
Yeah,
so funny.
and like
So
her entire equation with Batista is just like awesome.
with
Drax is
Drax Batista तो भाई अपना
dude.
भाई है वो but Drax
Batista is अपना bro.
like he's so still he stands so still that you
Oh
can't see
yeah,
him. He's
yeah,
invisible to the
yeah,
naked
yeah, yeah. Such a
eye.
chameleon,
That
bro.
was so good.
Chameleon.
Yeah, I'm a chameleon. So good, dude. So good. But moving on comes my boy, my favorite character in Marvel. I mean, not just because of this
I'm
portrayal, more so
coming
because I've grown up
home.
with this
I'm
character.
coming home.
Yep. It's the Spidey.
Dude,
I love
like just to
Spider-Man,
give you
dude.
perspective,
He's
this was the first Spider-Man I saw after the Peter Parker saga, and I was like, "Eh,
and this is the
किधर गया मेरा Peter Parker? ये कौन है?"
हाँ ना? And this was also like you hadn't seen
Yeah,
any
it was
Marvel
like
movies
I
before
remember
this,
like
right?
at the end of the movie just texting you and you were like, dude, Spider-Man is so weird. At the end of the movie, he's swinging around with his girlfriend and Instagramming his photos. And like to me, that was such a big change, okay, from like the Tobey Maguire universe. But then I think that's what happens when you don't stay in
Uh,
touch.
I think so. Did you watch not even Homecoming? Did you watch Far From Home, the
Yeah,
first one, like the
this was
first
I
time? Oh my
Sida.
god! So you didn't even watch the first
Yeah.
home, like Spider-Man,
Yep.
from the MCU. You watched the second
Sida.
one.
Smart
Amazing.
boy.
That was what a move!
So
What a
smart, na?
pro gamer
Is
move,
the
bro.
first one also a part of like the series? As in like the sequence in which you should watch the Marvel movies?
Yeah. Homecoming is right after Guardians of the Galaxy, technically. But Homecoming, if you had to put it, it's right after first
Right,
Avengers,
right,
right?
right.
In that sense. So if you're going timeline wise, it's after first
Acha.
Avengers. If you're going movie sequence
Yeah,
wise, like it goes after
right.
Guardians. But yeah, so Homecoming, I think I really enjoyed. It was a really good, like, refreshing view onto a younger superhero, a
Yeah,
teenager who has his own troubles, and he's a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, which is the fun part. Him learning about responsibility, and it's a well done movie. I really enjoyed it. I think, and the fact that I really like the character of Peter Parker and Spider-Man in general is what really makes me, more invested than anything else into Spider-Man as a whole. I guess people, I will always say this, like the first Spider-Man series is always going to be very special to me. But I really do enjoy, whether it be Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, or whether it be this Spider-Man, where Tom Holland is playing it, or whether it be Spider-Man on PS4, because I think the values and the ideals that this particular
Yeah.
character has is something that always speaks to me. So I think that's why I enjoy it. But that's my take. What about you, Z? Like, what do you think about the whole MCU Spider-Man, I guess, in
Still,
this
like,
case?
I'm one of those laggards who's like, give me, bring back my old MJ and my old Tobey Maguire. But I think as the years go by, those people get old and they can't always. I mean, the character is
Yeah.
like, I think, eternally young. I don't think they ever show like a mature Spider-Man. So I think that's the way of the way it
Yeah.
works. But you know what, like,
which is actually a gripe of a lot of people in
है
comics,
ना?
huh? Like they
Came to
want
grow up, ऐसे ट्रेन
Spider-Man to
पकड़
be
के
like
काम पे
old.
जा रहा
Yeah,
है, ऐसा
yeah,
ग्रोसरी शॉपिंग कर रहा है.
yeah. I mean, he does grow
He
up
does,
to
but
an
I think he
extent, but
never.
they
I don't
always
think
show him
he
as
he even
younger.
reaches like 25. Like in the
Yeah,
comics and the
yeah.
books, he's always.
I think he does. So he does have a company and all that later on, and that all
Acha, that
does
happens.
happen. But they kind of
Dude,
reset it
it's
again,
it's
which
it's in
which
Far
pissed
From Home now
everybody
when he
off.
finds out his best friend is also another Spider-Man, or is it the end of the game that you and I were
Uh,
playing?
no, 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 no. That's the game.
That's
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 very
very different.
different. That's
That's
very
am I
different. But no, no. So like in the comics, what I was telling you, right? Like they kind of reset it. So like in the comics, right? He actually had gotten married to
oh
MJ,
really?
and they were about to have a
Wow.
child and all that. But then there's this whole sequence of events that happens that everybody, I think, hates, where everything gets reset. Like he has to give up his life with MJ, his relationship, everything, and everything gets reset to him being like alone and all
Hmm.
that again. And it's because he wanted to save Aunt May's life and all that. But like she was old already. Everybody got pissed off at that because it was like, she's old. Let her die. Like let him have a good life. Why are you like fucking it up for everybody? Like everybody likes this Spider-Man. Why are you doing
Right.
this? Why do you write this? But and that to that extent, like I think it's also because Marvel always wants to keep him that like relatable for teens and younger people, I guess. So they usually don't let him like get older
Right.
to an extent. There is a storyline, I think, where there's an old Spider-Man, like he has a kid or
Whoa.
something, but
Okay.
like it's not it's a very separate comic, in a very like, it's a multiverse thing where it's like a separate alternate universe and all that stuff. So I guess that's a very different
Hmm.
thing. But that's that again, this is more comics. I guess we are talking about MCU, so maybe we should stick to that.
Right, dude.
But
But
yeah,
finally,
so
a better Thor on the way. After the second
dude,
movie, dude,
Ragnarok
बाल
is
Stan
such
Lee ने
an
बाल काट
amazing
दिया उसका.
movie.
ये तो scam है. He's like
Are
old man,
bro, I enjoyed the soundtrack of this
dude.
movie as
Like
well,
that
by the way. Like बाल तो कटा ही,
was
उसके
was
साथ
was the
soundtrack भी
Led
अलग
Zeppelin
बन गया
song
इसका.
or Kashmir or
Yeah, yeah,
what?
yeah.
No,
The
immigrant.
immigrant
No,
song, the
yeah, yeah,
immigrant
immigrant
song.
song. Like I'm going to say this
Dun, dun,
again.
dun,
I've
dun,
told
dun,
this to
dun,
you,
dun,
but
dun,
for
dun,
me,
dun, dun,
Wonder
dun, dun, dun.
Woman, Wonder Woman, Thor Ragnarok soundtrack sound very similar. I
Yeah.
don't know if that was. I don't know how other people
Really?
don't catch on to it, but to me they have like a.
No, it is different, bro. Like it's
But both have that.
that's a very
Both
different thing
have that.
to Thor.
They have that theme.
No, they don't. They
I
don't.
do. They do. Okay.
They
Okay. If you're
don't.
listening to this and you've made
I
it
mean,
this
I
far to
guess.
the podcast, let us know if you think anyone's weird like
Okay,
me.
do you think Z is right, or do you think
I'm pretty sure people think
I
I'm weird on
am?
this, but please don't make me feel alone.
No, I mean, I'm quite sure someone must be like, huh, it's quite like similar. I don't know. I feel like there is a stark
Right.
difference. Haha.
Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, damn.
Yeah, but I guess you might. I mean, I can see what you kind of
Yeah.
mean if you have to, but like I still don't
Yeah.
hear it
Okay.
to that
Thanks for
extent. So I
throwing me
don't
a
know.
bone.
But
Appreciate it. Yeah.
But I mean, we kind of have to throw a bone to Fenrir
Oh,
in this movie because
dude.
that wolf
Oh
was
my
fucking
god.
huge.
Not a dog I would pet. Yep, no. Nope, nope, nope.
Oh, this one, I think your hand would fucking get eaten
Yeah, I
if
think
you
at
if
best
you
I'll
pet him.
reach up to his like leg ka
Yeah,
elbow, whatever. Knee, okay, sorry. Wow. Leg ka elbow. Wow.
but this movie like Hulk and Thor, dude. Oh my god, what a duo! Plus Valkyrie and all
Insane,
that
right?
stuff. Like
Insane.
amazing, amazing. I think I enjoyed this
Dude,
movie
Hela
so
just
much,
fucking
just like
destroys
the
his
tone.
hammer. Like, can you
Uh
believe it?
I mean, the big
Dude,
sister,
but
man. The big
also the super
sister
awesome scene
doesn't.
is Loki and Doctor Strange fucking around with each other. And then, I have been falling for the past half. Oh, dude.
Was it?
That
Was it in this one only,
Yeah,
or
no,
was
this
that
wasn't this
in
one.
like
No, it wasn't in
Infinity
this one
War?
because in the beginning, their dad is missing, and then Thor
Yeah, yeah,
realizes
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah,
his
yeah.
father is actually
Yeah,
Loki.
yeah, dude. Oh my
Incredible, incredible! I
god.
can't believe it. He like
So
Thor comes
good.
in and Loki is watching a play about himself.
Also, also Cog, bro. Like the
Oh,
character
dude!
of Cog.
Hey, Meek,
Hello,
Meek.
I'm Cog.
Hey, I'm
I'm
Meek.
Cog.
Do you want to talk to Meek? Sorry, Meek
And
is
Meek.
dead. But then Meek is
It's
alive at
so
the end.
good.
Somehow Meek manages to.
I enjoyed it. I
Dude,
enjoyed it
that
so
was a
much. I
fun. That was
enjoyed
a
it
fun.
so much.
That was a fun character
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah, yeah, yeah. This movie honestly like had such a good like storyline as well, in the sense of like just the Ragnarok thing so it's a Norse mythology thing, right? Like where Ragnarok is where like all the gods die and they start anew. Like it's like they pass on and it starts, everything resets kind of thing. Everything starts anew.
Right.
It's like it's a thing that happens it's something that's a very big part of Norse mythology. It's very important to it, Ragnarok in general. And the whole idea is like it starts off by Loki getting sorry, not Loki, Balder getting killed
Right.
first, but that's a whole
Right.
Norse thing. In this, like just the way they showed it also is very interesting, and the whole idea of like the Asgardians' home isn't
Yeah.
Asgard. It's
Asgard is the
where
people. It's not a
everybody,
place.
like where the
Yeah.
Asgardians
Yeah.
and the people
Yeah.
are. So
Yeah.
yeah,
That
so
was
that
like a
like
nice
that's also a
messaging.
really
Dude,
good
but that
message.
entire scene, when like they find the father, like the entire Highlands that like they shown so beautiful.
Oh, dude,
So
yeah, yeah,
you know what? Like it takes me back to the Fantastic Beasts Part 2 scene where they take the
yeah.
portkey to go see,
Hmm.
they're trying to find the Auror. Oh, I'm forgetting her name. I'm bad with names. And him,
Hmm.
yeah. So basically, it takes me back to that scene when they take the port key and they go to, I think, Paris. Yeah. Okay. We'll put up a visual later for that connect.
But that was such a I think, yeah, the whole catharsis that they get from like speaking to their father
Right.
uh, is so good. And the portkey to Paris was it
Yeah.
Paris?
No, they go to find. Okay. I'm just gonna not remember the name, so I'm not gonna segue. But yeah, the entire scenes are beautiful. Of course, the battle between Hulk, like Gladiator Hulk, looks so cool. Let's not forget that.
Like he's a friend from work is also a very good
Yeah.
line. Like
Who's the
Hulk
strongest
and
Avenger?
when they're on.
Password. The
Pardon,
password. Like there was like,
your
who's the
voice cracked.
strongest Avenger? And they have like a whole fight.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's so good. I really enjoyed the tones of and the comedy in this movie as well, because the dialogue was very well written too. So I think and like I think to an extent I really connected to it with like the father being dead and all that stuff. I think I was able to connect to that aspect of this movie as well, and I could feel like what they were trying to speak about, which really I guess I say I can say it in that sense, but like I don't know, I could feel that emotion, right? Like
Right.
just losing everything and not knowing where you are, and then trying to find yourself in that, and Thor being able to do that, Loki being able to do that with Thor, and like them finding each other to that extent as well is really nice. Like it's a good way
True.
to
True.
show this
Agree,
movie.
bro. Bang on. We lost it for a while. Sorry for that. Some network issues.
Yeah, this was a bit weird. I don't know what happened. I think my internet kind of fucked up, but we are back. We are
Right.
back. I hope this gets recorded properly. But either way, I think y'all will not get, you sheeples won't get to know what happened because I'll be
We got a
cutting all
master
of this
editor.
out. But
Explained well.
but yeah, so I think as we move on from Thor Ragnarok, we were coming to one really cool movie, a very 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 well done movie, and such a big milestone in I guess history to an extent in that sense, because the story this movie was telling really spoke to so
Mm-hmm.
many people. uh, and I think both of us can shout the movie's name out together. So
Wakanda forever.
Wa-
What? Yeah,
Wakanda
forever.
forever. For
Dude,
sure, dude. There was
dude,
such
the
a
music beats. Like, oh my god, the
oh
music
yeah
in the
yeah
film. Like, not even so much of lyrics as much as the beats were so in, like the
yeah
drums and like, oh my god, so freaking cool,
yeah
so
yeah
freaking cool. And like, even this character comes
yeah.
out of nowhere.
So
Huh? Like this was one character I didn't know about. Just like Ant-Man, I had no idea something. Yeah,
Black
like because
Panther. I mean, Black Panther was there in Civil War, no?
like
So you
no,
maybe
I'm saying like when not just with this movie but like when Black Panther was originally introduced, just like when Ant-Man was originally introduced, I was like
ah
iska to nahi suna yaar pehle kabhi. And then of course they had a full-fledged movie. And of course this is one of the movies that along with Doctor Strange I feel needed to have two parts at least, you
huh.
know, like how they gave Captain America three parts, and then of course Spider-Man had its whole bunch of
Yeah
parts and Iron Man had three.
yeah
I felt like maybe, you know, they
yeah.
do it for the future.
No, so this is Black Panther 2 is supposed to come out,
Ooh.
but then sadly
Yeah,
Chadwick
yeah, yeah,
Boseman
yeah,
passed
yeah.
away.
True. That was
So that was truly like something I did not expect would happen in 2020. And oh my god, like rest in peace, Chadwick. I hope he finds peace in his life. Like sadly, he had to go through a really serious cancerous
right.
disease, and that's it's always tough, right? Like he was such a the crazy part was like he was still helping people. He was working even through all the pain. He was going to hospitals, he was talking to children, he was working on his movies, he was doing so many things. And it's so sad to see such an amazing person go. Not just because like we saw him as a Black Panther actor or something like that, but like just as a person, right? Like for what he's
Right.
done, for the movies he's done, for the work he's done, for the type of person he was. It's truly like it hits, man. It hits. I wish he could be here. And something really cool that Marvel and Disney itself are doing is like they aren't replacing his character as Black Panther. They're gonna keep Chadwick separate, and they're gonna give this whole thing to someone else. Like they'll pass on the mantle,
Okay.
but they won't make T'Challa like someone else. Like they won't give the name T'Challa to
Oh,
someone
okay.
else at the moment. And I think it maybe they're passing it on to his sister. That's
Oh,
maybe the
yeah.
plan.
Dude.
Shuri will become the next Black Panther, which is fine. Like right, I'm okay with that because I'm happy they aren't replacing Chadwick as and his role, because it's him. Black Panther was him, and I don't want to see someone else right now. I don't think,
Hmm.
at least, as that role. What do you think,
Dude,
Z?
I mean, of course, I'm not involved in, you know, like it in the entire series as you do, but you speak with so much passion. I'm just like someone who's introduced to it. But of course, the loss of him is huge, and I'm glad that Marvel is honoring it in whichever way that it can. But you know, keeping, I'm sure he would have been
Mm-hmm.
wanted to remember for all the things that he did, and he did certainly leave
Yeah,
such a, like I know so many of my friends
huge mark.
who like, you know, who are girls who had such a huge crush on him because like he's like that insane character that sort of in literal sense and like metaphorical sense also breaks white supremacy and like manages to you know, like
Yeah.
I'm I'm glad, let's just say that, you know, they also added in some color to the movies. Not that I'm saying that it's always necessary, but you know, representation
and
is big.
and the next
Like
next whole like phase is adding in a lot more
Right,
representation. Like there's going to be a lot of superheroes that are like um,
right,
diverse
right.
that are
So I mean,
coming
I
up.
think it was damn cool.
So
Like
it's
in
going to
some ways,
be,
Black Panther also
yeah,
jibes at the the real world view where Africa, despite being such a rich
yeah,
continent, is just is down there in the dumps. I mean, is it's dealing with its own political crisis, and development hasn't been up to the
yeah.
mark, and it ranks on a lot of development indices as one of the lowest countries. And then they go,
Yeah,
like this
yeah. Though in the
individual
case,
city within the continent, which is like,
yeah,
what, fuck what people
yeah,
think,
Wakanda
we're
is,
actually killing it.
yeah, like they were the pinnacle of technology and
Right.
life, right, in this world, right? So I think that's so well so well shown, so well done. Like their lifestyle, their culture, embracing that culture, right? Like in into that city, into their speaking, into their uh, like
Right.
rituals, and just even the direction, like especially when Killmonger was in the middle of the movie when he goes and takes the throne, or rather is going towards the throne. You see like the whole camera going upside down and then coming back to normal. Like it's just rotating. And the whole idea I think that shot wanted to portray was like the world is changing, their world is about to change, it's everything is going
Hmm.
on its head. And the whole it was so because the perspective was changing, right? What Killmonger wanted to say wasn't completely wrong. The way he was going about it was extremists for sure, but what he wanted to say wasn't wrong, right? Like the whole idea of like why should we be oppressed when we are equals, right? At that point, in that sense, and why should our culture be suppressed to
True.
that extent? and and the whole idea of like we should show the world what we truly are. We should be able to show who we are. We should be able to be free. We should be able to live without fear. And that's such a good message. Even for a villain, right? He As a villain, I still kind of agreed with him, even if he was wrong. And I guess the only place where it goes on its head was where how the method he wanted
Hmm.
to do it,
Right.
which involved more violence, where like T'Challa had to find his own answer to that same equation, right? Because even he was like, you know what, this guy is not wrong, but then this is not the way.
Right.
And how do I bring that change? And I think that's done really well. I guess the only place this movie kind of falls is in its CGI, because that last fight
Yeah.
scene between Killmonger and Black Panther
Right.
isn't the best. It's very, you can tell it's not really well animated, but
Right.
that's fine. I get at least the
Dude,
story
hey,
itself
it's better than Hulk,
really is
and I can
good.
live with that.
Oh, yeah,
Like, I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
even
yeah.
want to get into why Hulk one was Hulk one, but yeah, I don't think a lot of people even consider it like as the first Hulk movie.
Yeah.
They're like, we want, this is not our Bruce Banner. ये fraud hai.
I mean, Edward Norton, as amazing of an actor as he is, like the movie itself just wasn't
Hmm.
great. And let's just keep it
Let's
at
just keep that
that.
sliding, man, because we got the Infinity War.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yep.
Thanos and the big bad
Ah,
villain सबकी मार
oof.
रहा है bro,
That
like
this
single
movie,
handedly
this
fucking
movie,
everyone.
I think, in this movie, I don't think Thanos was the villain. Rather, he was the hero, because this movie kind of follows his story,
Right.
right? If you really think
Okay.
about it, like if just think of it in this way, like in this movie you follow the main character is Thanos, everybody else is just there doing their own thing, where but the overarching storyline that you're really following in Infinity War is
Right.
Thanos. Like if you think about it, he's the hero of the movie. He actually wins the movie. He, as a protagonist, he does what a protagonist does. It's just that the what he's about to do is
ये
fucked up.
स्कैम कर रहा है दोस्त,
That-
ये गलत है. Someone needs to moral police
but
of, इसको कोई
but
क्यों नहीं कैंसिल कर रहा था बे ट्विटर पे? हाँ. Thanos.
हाँ, because Twitter जो भी cancel किया होगा ना वो snap के बाद
सीधा
गया
snap की बात है.
होगा.
Because like just imagine the look on Thor's face. Like, what have you done? What have you done? And he's just like so
Yeah,
like, what the fuck was happening? I mean, dude, Gamora broke my
uh,
heart. Just like that scene with the whole Mind Stone.
yeah, like
Uh, of course, the scene
yeah,
was
Soul Stone, Soul
sorry,
Stone,
with the Soul Stone and beautifully connected with that red nostril-less
Soul for
guy
Soul.
who's there in the first Captain
Yeah.
America movie. Was actually from
You mean the Red Skull,
yeah,
the Red
and
Skull.
he speaks about
He's literally what he is.
yeah.
He's a Red
Dude, so I
Skull.
think that scene is just incredible. Like how
Uh,
much faith Gamora has that he won't be able
yeah,
to do it, but he does.
yeah.
That's uh,
And it turns out like she was his most
yeah,
like precious,
that's just
most important
beyond
person.
heartbreaking.
It's yeah, yeah. It's so sad and just the like I guess that the fact is like you could see how much he wanted
Right,
this. His quest to to an extent he wanted to bring peace to the universe, right? He wanted the universe, he wanted people to live in a place where everybody could live happily in that sense. If you really like, if his real motivation was like resources would be available to everybody, there would be like half the population would be there, so that people won't suffer in that sense. But his way of doing things again in this case was so extreme, like my
dude,
god.
just
It's
incredible,
crazy.
bro. Just it's like it
Yeah,
begins with the massacre
and
of the Asgardians, and like Loki just
yeah, and it's the tone of the movie itself, like the beginning is so strong, it's so
right,
well
dude,
done. It's just
Heimdall, Loki just gone like it just
yeah,
like you said, it just begins the tone, and it just like it's like
yeah,
everything is over right at the beginning.
yeah. It's the whole, the setting of the tone, the way the movie is about to go, like this is where we are, this is that threat, this is the guy who cannot be taken lightly, and that's literally what happens, right? Like the, Daiki says they should have gone for the head, they shouldn't have worried about not killing him. They, like, Thor shouldn't have thought about making him
Yeah,
suffer. The first thought should have
dude,
been
like
just kill him, because he is that guy who didn't
And
care.
then even this one Peter Quill fucks up because Star
Star
Lord
Lord,
fucks
yeah,
up. Like
Star
these
Lord
these two
later
people, like they
fucks up.
had
Yeah,
very clearly, but they fuck up. But I just can't believe, like, right, even when Loki was killed, I was like, he can't be dead. He can't be dead. And he actually fucking dies, man. Like,
yeah,
dude, that
yeah.
was like I'm still waiting for him to like just pull something out of his ass and be like, hey, hey,
No, so he's back now. He's back now.
really? What? Wait.
After, so you remember Endgame mein he gets the space the stone and he just teleports.
Oh, wait.
Endgame.
Okay, I'm I'm
You
having
just
flashes.
realized you dropped your
Yeah,
spoon.
right. You
You
heard that?
dropped your
Like,
spoon. So I just yeah, I
oh
heard that.
fuck,
So
dude, the space
he just
stone. Oh
realized.
my god. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck. Fuck. Yep. I assure you,
So
the sandwich.
he's there's a series coming on him, bro.
Acha?
Like on Disney
Damn
Plus,
cool.
it'll come out
Damn
soon. Yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah.
Damn cool.
So that's a thing. But he's alive now, though. He's I guess he's back to the old Loki, because this was the first Avengers Loki that kind of
Huh.
escaped. So his whole character development is kind of back to
Hmm.
old Loki. Uh, which is interesting, because like all the interactions that Thor had with him and everything, and them losing their father and all that, like together going through it, just it all has changed again, right? Like it's back to a character that's fresh, completely
Right.
fresh, someone who's still malleable, who's still going to who right now is again back to his mischief, I guess, to that extent. So it's going to be interesting to see where they
Mm-hmm.
take him. um Similarly, like I think Ant-Man and the Wasp, like after Infinity War, was again one of those, like I think they were setting up Scott Lang and his quantum world, like quantum travel and all
Yeah.
that stuff. So I guess that's what this movie was more so setting up. more than anything else. I guess the villains were fine. Ghost was okay. Um, but yeah, I think the fact was they wanted to set it up for towards Endgame, right? Same thing with Captain Marvel, where I enjoyed Captain Marvel. It had a very good message, but it was more of, I guess, again a setup towards where
Yeah,
Endgame was
Captain Marvel
going.
just came out of
Um,
nowhere again. It's like one of those movies, like just
yeah. This was very like near the end.
like this should
Suddenly
have been like
bringing Captain Marvel
very
in.
much at
Yeah,
the beginning, but like I can understand why they put her there.
yeah. I mean, I don't. I guess they had planned this beforehand, but maybe yeah, you are right. They could have brought her in earlier, and I don't know why she wasn't sure. Like technically, she could have been in the fight in Infinity War, but then again, like that's a whole different argument to have, right?
Right.
that's that's that then it becomes like, okay, there are so many things that could have changed in that case, but Captain Marvel was interesting, especially like with the story of how Nick Fury lost his got his eye patch or lost
Dude,
his
and
eye
in
in
the end
that
when
sense,
he
and
writes the whole Operation Avengers, like like that's
yeah,
where the name comes in.
yeah. So it was really nice. That was a
But to be very
good
honest, I
touch
don't
to it.
remember much of Captain Marvel, and like it's just
Captain
देखा
Marvel,
खत्म हो गया.
again, it's like it was a yeah, it was a good movie, but
Like
it
I
wasn't
not
like very
memorable for
very
me.
memorable.
Like I'm sure a lot of people liked it, but
I mean, I enjoyed it. I
but
I
I'm just
did
like
like the whole
struggling to like
Skrull war.
remember much of it. Like the other movies, a lot of it comes back very easily. With like Captain Marvel, not that easily. Like I'm having to like
Huh. Fair
hold
enough,
up.
fair enough. Yeah. I mean, again, I think they need to develop her character more, and plus her character came in at a time where like there was a need for more development for her, but like it was in between Infinity War and Endgame, and that wasn't, I think, the best time to bring her in, because your thought is straight up on what's gonna happen, like how are they gonna get everyone back and all that in Endgame. So it's one of those things where I guess the timing didn't lend her the I guess
Hmm.
opportunity to be properly remembered in that sense.
Right.
Maybe, I don't know. Could be. But moving on to Endgame,
Dun,
my
dun,
God, what a
dun,
finale!
dun,
What a
dun.
finale! Avengers
Dude,
Assemble
just
is one of the best things that could have happened there. Oh my fucking God. That shot is gonna be and will always be iconic.
yeah,
Holy
like
crap.
what? Did we get here already? I thought we just started with the Marvel series and like what? Endgame आ गया bro. ये क्या scene है?
Endgame खत्म हो रहा
The
है bro.
game
Oh
is
my.
ending. Like
And
fuck. I think I don't even know. I don't even have the data, but I'm pretty sure this movie like broke all kind of sales records.
dude, yeah. Like it was so it for a brief time. I guess now Avatar is back up, but it was the highest grossing movie in the box office
Honestly, apart from the fact that
for a good
Avatar has
time,
a
good amount
lead,
of time.
like chronological lead, I don't think there is.
No, so Avatar, the only reason it's gotten back up again is because it got re-released literally
ये तो
last
cheating
week
है
or
bro.
something, last to last week.
Oh,
हाँ ना, तो अभी वो हुआ पर तो क्या बोले
damn
अभी
it.
but then Avengers also, I think, became top because they kind of released it again in the
Huh.
middle,
But I
बीच
think
में
over
बहुत time
over
पहले
like
था,
the time
right?
period, it will overtake again. I'm pretty sure.
हाँ, maybe. I guess it could. It could. But honestly, Avengers Endgame was. I think I couldn't have asked for a better
Yep,
end for the
the
series,
game
because
ended
for
pretty
that
well.
saga, I my friend was like crying in the
Oh
theater.
my god, dude!
I
I know
don't
people who
usually
went
cry
for
that
like a
easily, but I
4
did
a.m.
have
show, man,
tears.
for the movie. Like,
Oh, bro, yeah. Like I don't cry very easily, but I had
mm,
tears for sure in that movie, and my God, I enjoyed it thoroughly. I loved each and every scene. I loved the hug Tony had with Peter. I loved. It was so good. It was so good. On your left, it was so good. Uh, Captain America picking up
dude,
the
I knew
hammer, bro.
it.
Oh my
Like, oh
fucking
fuck,
God. Also, I was talking about mental health. We'll get back to it. Like they did really well showing even Thor's
dude, right,
depressive
right.
state, right? Like
Dude, and going back and
his
meeting
whole
his
person
mother was
changed
iconic. Like,
because
I can't get over that scene. And
yeah,
holding the hammer
yeah.
in his hand once again. And
And I liked the fact that they didn't make him thin suddenly just because he became
Hannah,
okay again
he
at the
was,
end. Like he was still
yeah,
fat, like
yeah,
fat Thor, but he was okay mentally. That
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 was
that was a good
important, right?
touch. And yeah, because if they would have suddenly made him thin, I would have been like, this is kind of me. I don't think like your message was nice, but then it you
Huh,
didn't hit it home. But at the end, like they did hit it home. The end, the whole like movie itself like does
right,
do well in
right.
that sense, and it's so good, man, so good.
Just incredible.
Um,
But I mean, I can't
and
believe it ends.
huh.
Like seriously, like I'm always like, कुछ तो होगा यार. 21 picture हो गई अभी तक. Like you can't just end so fast. Don't go. It's like one of those series, right? That has 10 seasons, and then they like just announce that there is going to be
Yeah,
no more, and you're like, oh what? I thought you're going to be
yeah,
around forever. I even hated you because you were around forever, and now that you're going, I can't stand the fact.
yeah. But now you're going like,
Anna, I think
yeah,
that
yeah.
happened
I know,
watching that
right?
movie.
Hmm. But I guess this is just it was such a bittersweet way to do it, and it's like Iron Man passing away. I guess it was perfect, right? Because I think his story needed
Yeah,
to end that way. Captain America going back to his first
yeah.
love,
Oh,
his story
dude.
needed to end
And
that way,
who
and it was
else
so
would
sweet.
invent a time
And then,
machine except for Tony Stark? Like,
oh, dude, yeah, 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 had to be Tony. It couldn't have been
Hannah?
anybody else. And it's just passing on the gauntlet to the next gen, right? And speaking of the next gen, like we do get Far From Home, where Peter, you see Peter coming into his own, like him taking responsibility for what he's doing, and then he's still having so much trouble, even though like he's a teen. He knows that he has much more on his shoulders, and I think just coming to terms to that with that is such an interesting thing to see, because him, like he wanted to give it all to Mysterio, right? Like even though Mysterio, he didn't know Mysterio very well, he wanted to give that burden of like, oh, Tony's gone, but I kind of have to be here and see things through, to like someone who was older. But then he realized like, no, it has to, like there's no one else to do it. It's when you have a responsibility, when you
Yeah,
have the power, you have that responsibility. And every, I think there's no better line than the first Spider-Man, where like with great power
I
comes
know, right?
great responsibility,
It
ever
just hits
hits
home every single
than
time.
any, like, yeah. And honestly, and Mysterio's powers, oh my god, the scenes, dude, I loved it. Like the whole
Dude, the fact that he's able to do
illusionary
it, like,
scenes,
like he
so good.
orchestrates that entire thing, dude,
Oh,
just incredible.
so
But
good,
you know
so
what? I
good.
think my entire favorite part is the reveal of who MJ really is. And, like, in the end, and they take her name and they haven't taken her name throughout. I think that's like just one of the most favorite scenes ever.
I also just to say, like the ending of this movie, which I think will lead to where we are going to go ahead with No Way Home, which is the next movie that's going to come out, I think next year. It's actually no, it's coming out in December. It's like Peter Parker being revealed to the world is so crazy, because I don't know where now this is gonna go, right? Like it's such a, also they brought back J. Jonah Jameson, like Jason. It's so good to see him again. It was such a throwback to see him in this
Right.
movie, and him revealing to the world that Spider-Man is actually Peter
Dude,
Parker,
that's
and
gonna be like, I
him
can't
painting
I
him
can't
into a
even think
villain.
of what the first scene of the
Eh,
next movie is gonna look like. Yeah.
yeah, honestly, and I think that's what the MCU is, right? Like it gave us so much. Honestly, I think so. Growing up with it, I think I learned a lot from it. I connected with the characters so much. I learned a lot about, even with mental health stuff, right? Like I kind of learned a lot about how nuance works in stories. As much as Marvel movies aren't the most nuanced, I think I tried to find it, because as a person who likes films, and I think I've not watched a lot recently, but I want to get back into it. I think just thinking back on it really, really helps me in that. And the whole character and the wonder is something that'll always stick with me
Right.
throughout. And since you've watched it recently, what do you like? What did you actually like? Get from watching this whole series? What do
Dude,
you
I
think of
think
like
like
the
first of
MCU
all it
as a
was
whole?
it was such a cheat code to just like I know people who probably must have been following this for like what 10 years, 8 years, and it's like,
Yeah,
and then I'm like
yeah.
just stretching and chilling. अच्छा खत्म हो गया अभी सब साथ में देख लेता हूँ, चलो. And I know people who are like, we fucking hate you. We had to wait. You didn't have to. And I'm like, oh, what can I do?
We did our waiting.
And
13 years.
I think the most incredible part was like, watching the series
Yeah.
because my mom wanted to watch it. So I think it makes it
Uh,
really memorable for me, and I'm gonna like remember it very fondly for the rest of my life because uh, she got
mm,
interested in the whole series, and then we'd watch movies haphazardly, and then she went on the web and she found out what's the order, and she's like, okay, you know what? Why don't you download, or why don't we Netflix whatever's available? And there were so many movies that I'd obviously
uh,
already watched, but I still watched them over again because I wanted to watch, I wanted to watch with her, and it was fun, man. Like I
yeah.
think what I really like is the idea that no matter how grown up you are, you'll always need to want to cling on to a fantasy world. And to me, that's
Yeah.
very deep. I won't try to interpret it, but all I'll try to say is the older we grow, the more the need for a fantasy or an alternative reality. And I guess everyone has to
Yeah.
think of what it means for them. But to me, I think the Marvel movies are a great example of that. And like I'm excited to see Black Widow. Like obviously, like the soundtrack is,
Dude,
oh my
yeah.
god, dude, so much
I
power.
mean, Black Widow is about to come in June, bro. Like that's the main thing. So June 9th is the date, and oh,
Dude, I know
I
they've got
await
some
the time.
Shang-Chi thing coming out, and there's Eternals, and there's like,
Yeah, yeah.
and
Shang-Chi, Miss
and
Marvel.
finally
So
we're gonna
that's
have the
that's
Doctor
basically
Strange, and then obviously we have the next
yeah, yeah,
Thor
yeah.
and like Black Panther, and like so much
So much to
is
happen. So
like
much to happen.
is going to be other.
I
I'm
I look
really
forward
waiting
to the
for
next
Guardians of
phase
the Galaxy
because
Volume 3, no
yeah.
matter what.
Oh, dude,
That's
that'll
gonna
be
be
fun.
insane.
That'll be fun.
But yeah,
That'll be so much
maybe
fun.
they'd even do something with the Fantastic
But
Four, which is different, but still pretty interesting.
I think that is so they are planning to get X-Men and Fantastic Four in now
Yeah,
because now
dude,
that they
imagine
have the
if they,
rights, they
they, they
can.
connect everything.
So
Oh, fuck.
that'll be fun. That'll be interesting. Plus, like I think Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness is gonna connect a lot of stuff.
Dude,
So
I think Doctor
that's
Strange
gonna
is
be
going to be the
something
whole
to look
turnkey
forward to.
movie.
Oh, for sure, dude, for sure. And apparently they're making it into a horror movie, so
Whoa,
that's fun.
whoa.
That's
I
even
like it.
better.
I like where they're
So
going.
I guess if you sheeples have stuck with us throughout this journey, I mean, I really appreciate you all because I guess both of us at
Yeah,
this case, but because it's like such a, I know it's long, but I hope y'all are enjoying our
yeah.
conversations. I hope y'all are able to have conversations with us, and we would love to hear from you, whether it be on our socials on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or Reddit, like YouTube as well. We are available everywhere. And honestly, just thank you so much for joining us in this fun conversation and being a part of this community. I don't think we say this enough,
Yeah, man.
but it's honestly something
We
that
really
means a
want to
lot
keep
to
getting
us.
better as the time goes by,
Yeah,
and just and your
for sure.
suggestions will really help us get there. So please don't be afraid.
100%. Yeah. So I guess it's time to say goodbye because I think we've taken up too much of
Yeah,
your
this is
time
like
at this
going back
point.
to Harry Potter days.
But oh yeah, dude, that was amazing. But I think we'll see you guys. We'll see you sheeples again. I said, oh guys, almost. Oh my, back to the old ways, I guess. But we'll see you sheeples again. I think in the next one we are gonna do a really chill episode, where just both of us talk about life in general and just updating you all
Yeah.
about us. I think it's gonna be a lot of. It's gonna be a nice vibe. So we look forward to that, and yeah,
See you
see you then.
then.
Bye,
People.
sheeples! Bye, sheeples!